Driving down Lee Road or Van Aken has been a bit like running an obstacle course lately because there's been a prodigious amount of construction here in Shaker Heights. But it's been around for a while and it will be around for a while. The end is not in sight. Still, it's very much worth it because Shaker Heights has done very nicely, thank you, with federal funds. In fact, we've done better than anybody else in northeastern Ohio. Driving down Lee Road or Van Aken has been a bit like running an obstacle course lately because there's been a prodigious amount of construction here in Shaker Heights. But it's been around for a while and it will be around for a while. The end is not in sight. Still, it's very much worth it because Shaker Heights has done very nicely, thank you, with federal funds. In fact, we've done better than anybody else in northeastern Ohio.
Both sides of the street.
Most of the visible work is being done along Van Aken Boulevard. It's a joint city-county federal project costing somewhere over $2 million.
Masons, someone else will come along, put in the cement and the asphalt, and we have a nice smooth road.
How deep down do those go?
They vary. Some was 12 feet deep, others was 8. As you go down, it might get deeper.
This is pretty hard work.
Well, for the laborers, yes. For the inspector, it's mentally hard.
About 30% or so of the project is completed at this time. Money for these projects is mostly federal. The benefit of Shaker Heights is very great indeed, as Walker Kelley explained.
Shaker Heights has been very fortunate, and by the end of next year, when the Van Aken project is completed, every through street in Shaker Heights, both east-west and north-south, will have been resurfaced in the last several years. Most of this has been done with 75% federal money. Shaker Heights has, because of our planning and having our engineering prepared on time, and working with the county engineer and with NOACA, has been able to obtain more of the so-called M funds or federal money for these kinds of through highways than any other city in the area. We're very, very pleased, and we'll have a completely new through road system when they finish this year with Lee Road, Shaker Boulevard, and Fairmont, and finish next year with Van Aken.
So we're getting a bigger slice of the pie, so to speak.
Well, we were fortunate in getting into the pipeline on time and having the match money available with the bond issue that the people approved several years ago.
So it was careful planning then?
Yes, we looked ahead, and it was good timing, good planning, and a certain amount of fortuitousness.
Perfect. The road signs along Van Aken will be there a while yet. On Lee Road, traffic will soon be flowing more smoothly. That resurfacing, taking it down to bare concrete and rebuilding with a new asphalt surface, is pretty much completed. Our roads began being torn up a couple of years ago when the city entered into the sewer rebuilding project. Even in the dead of winter, workmen were toiling to replace our sewers in a project costing more than $8 million. Phil Heintzleman, city planner, explained.
A couple of things you have to recognize out in front is that Shaker Heights overall started around 1912, so some of the systems that we have in place, both underground and the roadway system, are approaching 68 years of age. The majority of them are more in the range of 50 years of age already. And those systems, over time, both through technology and just through age, become antiquated. And that has shown its face in a couple of regards, taking the sewer systems as an example, particularly the storm sewer system. As an area gets built up, the capacities of those sewers become less in relationship to the load they have to carry because there's more runoff. Development causes more runoff. Also, the sewer system that we have essentially is in some ways combined with some split. The August 75 storm really brought to light a problem with the sewer system. Although that was a major storm, it created a lot of surcharging and flooding and things like that. So there is overall roughly $8 million worth of sewer work being done starting in '78 and running through the next couple of years to around 1982.
Of course, it wasn't all heavy equipment. On Coventry Road, catch basins and sewers were rebuilt by hand in some cases. Bernie Reif, the service director, kept an eye on it all. Perhaps the most visible reconstruction was that occurring along the rapid lines. There again, Shaker Heights did very well. We gave the newly formed RTA an aging and decrepit transit system. We got new cars, a new roadbed, new rails, a real case of what one City Hall wag termed something for nothing. County Engineer Tom Neff has high words of praise for Shaker Heights and its engineering planning.
Well, what you see here is Van Aken Boulevard. It's about a $2.9 million project to upgrade the approximately 3 miles of Van Aken Boulevard, extending from South Woodland all the way to Sugar and this project is being constructed under traffic. Traffic must be maintained, so it's taking a little longer. The anticipated completion date of this would be August of '83. Presently, the project's 33% completed.
Is this a major project, would you say?
Oh yes, it's a major project. There's 75% federal funding, with the city and the county picking up the remaining 25%.
Who sort of oversees the work?
Well, we've got county inspectors on the job, and there's a project engineer on the job making sure that the specifications are met and correcting any little adjustments that must be made to plans and the completion of the project.
Now, is this construction going to one company, or?
Well, the bidder on this will happen to be Lockhart Construction, yes. one general contractor, and he obviously has some subcontractors to do other phases of the operation.
Tell me a little bit about the kind of road bed and that sort of thing that we'll have here.
Well, we're going to have basically a hard road bed of concrete and an asphaltic wearing surface. This hopefully will bring the Van Aken Boulevard to a condition where the county then can turn the obligation of further maintenance over to the cities. It's our hope to upgrade these projects to a point where the county can sort of relieve itself of the obligation of maintenance.
These are easier to maintain this way.
Oh yes, we got to give them a road that's in good condition, they can maintain them. We're presently squeezed right now with our bridge program, and we're trying to do the best we can with dollars.
Shaker Heights has done very well in getting federal funds. Can you tell us why that is?
Well, Shaker Heights has been able to come up with the plans early on when the federal programs are starting to move. A completed set of plans is something that the federal agents are looking for to start spending money. Gearing up late sort of puts you down on the list. Shaker was wise enough to foresee this and had plans available.
What else, what other major projects will there be in the near future?
Well, there'll be the RTA bridge in Shaker at Green Road. That probably will be bid sometime in '83. They finished Warrensville Center about 2 years ago. This pretty much would take care of Shaker Heights as far as the county is concerned in the foreseeable future.
Now, some of the road projects were not, the county was not involved in, like Lee Road, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. But all in all, Shaker Heights will have a pretty fair road system then, as far as you're concerned.
Yes, Shaker Heights is a very progressive community. They're up on the road system, and they've done an extremely good job. They're a very fine community, very good relationship with the mayor and the service director and the city engineer.
How does Shaker plug into the other communities around here as far as roads go? Do we sort of fit in, and you know, is traffic going to be easy to flow throughout the suburbs, or?
Well, I believe so. There are some one-way streets that are creating a little bit of a flow problem, but generally, the county's consideration on most of these are the longer stretches of road that go from community to community, and our overall plan is to see that improving these and upgrading these are the consideration at this time.
So the next time you curse the road signs, single lane traffic and detours, just rest happy knowing that your tax dollars really have been at work. The catch basins along Van Aken and elsewhere are quite up to date and modern. I wish it lasted a lot longer than 40 or 50 years that the previous lot lasted. The heavy equipment is here to stay for a while on Van Aken Boulevard. But when it leaves, next fall hopefully, we'll have a really fine roadway. And as a matter of fact, as we've seen in this program, Shaker Heights will have some of the finest streets in northeastern Ohio, and we'll have paid less for them than other municipalities because we planned ahead.
You know how it is. Forget it. Fire department. Yes, ma'am. What's that address? 15611 Fernway? Okay, ma'am. You can see the smoke from your house? Okay. Do you see flames, ma'am? Yes, you do? Okay, it's out of the second floor window. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. We'll have some in there right away. (15611 Fernway). Engine 215, 216, truck 225, squad 245. Structure fire. 215, 216, 225, 245. 15611 Fernway. Structure fire. Smoke coming out of a second floor window.
You all set, Al?
Okay.
This time.
When lives hang in the balance, the difference made by a few seconds could be the difference between life and death. It was this consideration that prompted the cities of Shaker Heights and Cleveland Heights to enter into a unique new cooperative venture that will save lives as well as thousands of dollars every year. It's a new joint fire and medical dispatching operation using civilian dispatchers. It's also coupled with a joint response policy whereby calls will be answered by the nearest fire apparatus or rescue squad, never mind which city it's from. The fire dispatchers will replace firemen who are now free to serve in their more important function of putting out fires rather than working the radios.
KBU 407 to 242. What is your location?
Okay, fine.
What do you have available? What do you have available?
243.
242 to 407, go ahead.
Noble Monticello, auto struck pole in front of the Shell station.
2562 Noble.
4.
It's 2562 Noble Road. We'll send an engine.
212 is on the air. Thank you, sir.
212, your location?
Okay, thank you. There's down wires also.
Call the
What was
main
it,
company.
Creston Mayfield?
212, can you respond? Noble Monticello, near the Shell station, auto struck telephone pole, 242 is on its way.
We'll respond.
10-4-212, we're notifying the illuminating company, supposedly wires are down.
2976 Manchester, Squad 245. 17-year-old boy bitten by dog. Squad 245, 2976 Manchester. 17-year-old boy bitten by dog.
Just change that to 245.
Okay, no problem.
2976 Manchester, 2976 Manchester, assist the squad.
Okay, well, how many cars we have, but what I'd like to do is would like to sit in on the interview. Recall,
Yes.
Valerie Jones, Margaret,
Yes. Sarah, hold on. We're in the middle of an emergency situation. Can you call me back in about 10 minutes?
Engine 2 to 571 responding, still on 3690 Orange Place.
and if possible, make it maybe at least 2 of them.
Chief,
I don't, I can't.
is it always like this in here?
Not always, but a lot of times it is. It can get very busy at times, right?
How are you handling the load? Is it a big burden handling 2 cities?
No, it doesn't seem to be. The system, considering the great change in the amount of equipment involved, the system startup was relatively easy and uneventful.
Now, who are these people, these dispatchers that you have here? Where do they come from?
These are civilian dispatchers that are hired by the city of Cleveland Heights, and they've come from various walks of life. Some had previous dispatching experience, and others, this is their first experience at dispatching. Yes.
How long have they been on the job now?
They were here, started April 1st, and so that makes it 3 months now.
Have you had any major problems with breaking the new people in and the new methods?
Well, there's something as radical as this always involves some problems, but nothing that we weren't able to overcome.
Tell me how it works in essence now. What does this joint dispatching mean?
Well, the joint dispatching, basically for the 2 cities, it means a savings of money for the taxpayer, for one. It also means an improvement in the fire service, and to reach both those goals, one thing is a major accomplishment. All the calls for the 2 cities are received in the alarm office here, and all the dispatching is done from this alarm office. All the stations are interconnected, and we are dispatched from here. In addition to that, we have what we call an automatic aid feature that allows each fire station to respond to an emergency, the closest station to respond, regardless of what city it's in or what city the emergency occurs in. The closest 2 fire stations will send equipment, and this means that it gets there quicker. It also means that each city has more backup equipment available at the other stations to answer a second alarm or to respond to the original alarm if it's greater.
So, in other words, if I live on, say, Eaton Road in Shaker Heights and there's a fire there, I may likely see a Cleveland Heights unit respond.
Right, you'd probably see a Shaker Heights, several Shaker Heights units and a Cleveland Heights unit at that location, right?
I see.
And the same in Cleveland Heights along the southern border. Shaker's number 1 or number 2 station might be closer, and some of Shaker's equipment would be at those locations.
I see. This shortens your response time then?
Yes, reduces the response time, and as I said before, it allows greater backup for second alarms in other areas. And one of the reasons it can be done efficiently is because everything is dispatched from the one location. There are other cities who have the same concept, but they each have their own dispatch center, so they receive a call, then they have to relay the call to another city's dispatch center, causing lost time, which this feature eliminates.
Each city is a separate entity in itself, and we're trying to accommodate both cities without changing However, for dispatching purposes, we've had to coordinate some procedures to one median so that my dispatchers are not stopping and having to think, what procedure do I use for what city, which cuts down on your time and response in general. So bringing the two cities together in certain procedures has been quite a challenge to us, but with the cooperation of the chiefs and all the firemen, we've been able to do that, and we're coming along just fine now.
Where have some of these dispatchers of yours come from? What kind of jobs did they have before?
Most of my dispatchers had previous telephone type background dealing with the public. A couple of our dispatchers did have some dispatching experience. We mainly were looking for a fast response person, calm. The biggest thing is to stay very calm. If the other person is very excitable, you cannot be. About 3 weeks ago, we experienced a storm, and I believe we counted 21 calls, 21 alarms within about a 33-minute period. And we had apparatus all over the cities, every piece of it. But we managed, and everything got taken care of in a satisfactory way to the citizen as well as the fire department.
She got it on record and play. They just let her have her food.
The joint response policy means a savings in time and motion. Each city's firefighters are legally protected by their own cities while serving in the other community.
Now that's a good one. Now there's a good one.
Of course, the firemen on some venerable antique engines in Cleveland Heights say they'd really like some more modern equipment, but they sure built those fire engines to last. The most exciting thing happening in Cleveland Heights is the new fire station. We found some of the firemen making a tour of their future home.
Not load bearing, just partition walls. All the load bearing walls
It won't be all cinders and smoke for the Cleveland Heights firemen located in this new fire station here at Severance Center. It's located in the center of the eastern half of Cleveland Heights and will provide a much better coverage for the city. We're here in the kitchen, what will be the kitchen of the new fire station. There's a small patio area here.
KQF 750, testing 263.
The fire dispatchers for the two cities will be located here in the new fire station when it's completed. We hope they'll get use of the patio, too. Thanks for watching Shaker Life. I'm Douglas Drake.
Fire department. No, it's not.